I don't think JD get his flowers enough.
He doesn't, man. He doesn't.
The kids got his song, that Ghost Town DJ song,
Oh, my boo, right?
My Boo.
Yeah.
And they made a dance out of it, and it went viral again. And he was like, "Yeah, I wrote that," and they did. They did. For
I
some
believe
reason, they don't believe Jermaine Dupri.
because I don't know. He's just I think a lot of it is just East Coast, West Coast bias, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
When Dr. Dre says that he did something, people believe it, and Dr. Dre may not have, made the melody, or he may not have done certain things. Scott
Mm-hmm.
Storch may have done it, or somebody else, So, nobody gives Dre flack when he talks about what he's done. I think for JD, a lot of it is just people hate on the South even to this day.
What's up, everyone? This is Dewayne 06.
Yo, 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 it's AJ Pendit.
Let's run it.
Let's go.
I got one name for you, AJ.
What you got, man?
Jermaine Dupri.
Woo.
And let me list some names for you. Now, this topic is, well, what do you think about this topic?
Mm-hmm.
Jermaine Dupri is the greatest songwriter of all times. We know he's a producer.
Right, we know that. We know he's got beats. Yep.
Is he the greatest, or is he one of the greatest?
Greatest songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's up there. I don't know if he's. I wouldn't call him the greatest. He might be the greatest. What they call like 100%er. Where they produce and they write. He
Mm-hmm.
might be the greatest at that. Um, but even that might be a stretch. But he's in the top though for sure.
Now he doesn't always do the 100% thing though.
Yeah, not always. Not always. You're right.
For me, Jermaine Dupri, as far as like if someone were to ask who's your favorite producer,
Mm-hmm.
songwriter, it would be Jermaine Dupri, and then after that, it would probably be Babyface.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Baby.
I'm looking at what Jermaine Dupri did at his age. Well, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I'm gonna read these names:
Okay.
Crisscross,
Mm-hmm.
Escape, Bow Wow, The Brat, Jagged Edge, Anthony Hamilton, Mariah Carey, Usher, Monica, Nelly. Now Nelly, some songs, but I'm not saying he wrote all of Nelly's songs, but
Right.
some songs. Just like Mariah Carey, he had some major hits with Mariah Carey.
Right. Yeah.
So JG pretty much started when he broke onto the scene, I guess around about when he was 19, when he got Crisscross together and they made that hit Jump.
Mm-hmm.
So he was 19 at the time when he did that. Just to give you 19 years old producer songwriter for Jump and pretty much
Yeah.
the whole album. And he found them at the mall. He dressed them. He turned them into rappers.
He gave them their identity. Yeah, for
Yes.
sure. Yep.
Now they already had the swag. That's what attracted him.
Mm-hmm.
When he was at the mall, he saw them and he thought they were some type of celebrity or something because they had all the kids around them, the girls around them and stuff.
Yeah. They had that charisma, that swag, like you said. Yep.
But JD has pretty much stayed on the top of the chart since 1992 when he broke Crisscross.
That's over 30 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people have done that?
Not many. Not many.
I mean, he's consistently doing that with. No, I'm not saying that he's uh, like 24/7 always on the charts, but he's
He's got a
consistent
resident.
enough that you don't forget about Jermaine Dupri.
He's got a resident there on the charts. You know what I mean? Like he
A
stays.
residency.
Yeah, yeah, he's on there. You know, he's on there now for sure. And I mean, 30 years. I mean, if you can get one hit, you know, that's better than most, right? But he's
Yeah,
been in the chart for 30 years now, so he's doing something right. He's doing a couple of things right. You know what I mean?
yeah, definitely. And he's currently on the chart with Money Long and
Right.
Nobody.
Exactly. Yep. And
And
I got to give a shout out to Brian Michael Cox, right?
oh
From
yeah, yeah, definitely.
he's I think he's a frequent collaborator of JD and a lot of those big records with Mariah and even the one with Money
Right.
Long now. He's on
Yeah,
that.
so that's what I was saying. JD is not like writing well, I'm sure a number of the songs he wrote most of it,
Yeah.
but he is collaborating a lot of the time. There are co-writers with
Yep.
him. Um, but one thing that JD did that producers these days, we're not doing this. JD said he never had a problem uh, placing his music with artists because he got the artist, and
Yeah.
he went and got the artist, and he
That's
wrote
it.
for the artist. He didn't have to go find someone to try to, okay, listen to my songs. Here's some of my
Please
beats. Here's
like
my tracks.
like it, right? Yeah, like please like my beats, please like my
Right.
songs, like and even today, you know, you see that a lot. The biggest way to cut through the noise is to create an artist, develop an artist.
Hmm.
The thing with that though is a lot of artists nowadays feel like they don't need anybody.
It's kind of tricky, and
Yeah, it's tricky now,
I'm
you
not
know.
sure if I'm not sure that could change in the future. I'm not sure if I can do it. If I
It's
re-
a lot, yeah.
if I saw that they were really committed and were like a kind of like a we were doing this as almost like a partnership in a way.
Hmm.
Not necessarily that we're legally a company, under the same entity, but
Yeah.
kind of partnering up to do this, and we kind of understand that we each are trying to help each other,
Hmm.
and not what can you do for me?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. But that, I mean, that's the way to cut through all the noise. If you look at Ice Spice's producer Riot,
Hmm.
that's how he cut through. You know, he went from being practically unknown to, you know, now he's hanging out with Taylor Swift at the Grammys, you know. So
So
the
I think that approach is what got him all
yeah,
these credits.
yep.
'Cause
I agree.
he found it. He found the artist, and he got with the artist. He wrote for them.
Yep.
So when I was looking at the Wikipedia profile for Jermaine Dupri or JD, and you look at his early years, the description of his early years, you'll see it'll mention his dad was a Columbia music executive, and a lot of people
And yeah.
mistake that to think that his dad got JD in the business, but JD actually got his dad in the business.
I
He
didn't know
mentioned
that.
that
He got his dad into hip hop or just into
into the music business,
okay,
into because he's like I don't know if he's doing that now, but at the time, at one point, he was a
music.
Columbia Records music executive.
Yeah, Michael Malden. Yep.
Yeah, and a lot of times for songwriters who don't really sing or not out front with their singing, people don't really recognize that they are songwriters. They pretty
Right.
much probably think Jermaine Dupri is just a producer, and if he's a songwriter, maybe he's just writing the lyrics. But no,
He's
Jermaine is giving them the melodies.
mhm.
He's writing the lyrics and he's giving them melodies. He's giving them the cadence, and that's what he did for Usher, especially like Usher Confessions.
Man, that was
He
a
brought those melodies and cadences to Usher.
yeah, yeah, that was a legendary album for sure. And I mean, even though so he didn't find Usher like you know, I
No,
know Usher was originally I think with P Diddy. He was always signed to LaFace, but I think Puff Daddy was originally trying to develop him, but
yeah, artist
once
development.
yeah, once he got with JD, he kind of found his identity and his sound. You know what I mean? So I would even say that JD. he maybe didn't discover Usher, but he developed them. You know.
Yeah, definitely. And just to kind of list some a number of the songs that he wrote for us, Usher. This is not a complete list. This is just some of the big
Yeah.
hits that he wrote for Usher.
Yeah.
Of course, we just talked about Confessions,
Hmm.
You Make Me Wanna, My Way, Nice and Slow, You Got It Bad, My Boo. We could keep on going.
Go. You keep going, man.
We could probably go for out of all the songs that he's written or been. And again, when I say he's written the songs, I don't mean he did 100% of the songwriting.
But he's been part of it though. He's
Right.
collaborated. Yeah.
Um, we could probably go for a couple hours
Yeah. For
just
sure, man.
listening them out.
Yeah. His catalog is really really deep, man.
Um, I don't know what made me think about this. I don't know. Maybe I was thinking about in a um, development, like an artist development or a music creator development
Hmm.
ranking system. Like,
He's up
if
there.
you want to develop an artist, right, or develop a producer or develop a songwriter, what you do is, what are the skills at the various levels of a ranking that you can give them? Like,
Uh-huh.
the top songwriter does this. When you're a beginning songwriter, you're probably doing this. So one day I was kind of thinking, they should have like either maybe not a songwriter, but at least a producer ranking, and let the measurements be the system of measurements would be called Dupri's.
Mm.
It would be like 7 Dupri's, and seven Dupri's is the perfection.
Top, right?
One
Yeah.
Dupri, you are at the two Dupri ranking, 3 Dupri's, 7 Dupri's,
Still building, right? Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be dope. And I think he's got a big enough name for it to work. You know what I mean? He's got a brand name. He's like a verb. You know what I mean? To pre. You know what I mean? So I think he's got the catalog. He's got the talent. He's got the span over the years. He's been doing it for over 30 years now.
Yeah,
So
he's got the way his songwriting style is now. If it doesn't inspire him, like if he's working with a song and it's starting to take too long,
he'll move on,
he
right?
won't even write it. He says he throws it away. I'm like, I
Yeah,
remember in the interview he was saying that. I said, Jermaine, his throwaways are probably hits.
better than yeah, better than people's whole life. Like, yeah, but that's when you're operating at that top level of like songwriting, of production.
Hmm.
Know, where it's not even writing is not even a it's not even a thinking thing. It becomes just part of your subconscious, and you're just it's like free flowing thoughts, free flowing. You know what I mean? I think he's at that level. There's very few people that I've seen at that level where they could just churn them out like that. You know?
Yeah, and I think Jermaine, Jermaine can kind of tap into. I guess because he's written so many good songs or great songs,
Hmm.
he knows what it feels like.
He knows when he's got a
Like
hit
when he, and I know you probably experienced this. I experienced this. There's just a feeling that you get when you write a hook,
that
and then
is like the
you
one.
just want to listen to that hook all day long.
Yeah, yeah.
It's probably a good sign.
Usually it is right. But then you hear stories about people not knowing that songs were going to be a hit, or not really liking
That
songs.
is true.
So I
That
think
is true.
the thing about music is, I mean, we can go off the feelings and what it feels like, and sometimes that can be a good sign. But a lot of times, none of us really know. We might
Hmm.
hope and we might feel, but at the end of the day, your throwaway could end up being your biggest record.
Yeah, that's why I don't. Me personally, I don't throw anything
You'll
away.
throw anything away, yeah. Yep.
I'll just like I for instance, I have like a page where I just keep like if a some type of catchy title comes to my mind,
Hold on
or if
to.
I see something or someone says something, but I don't have any ideas to take it any further, I'll
Yep.
put it on that list.
Yeah, tuck it. Yeah, I do that a lot with like voice memos. You know what I mean? I'll get like a melody idea or something when I'm just out, going about my business, and I don't want to lose it, so I'll hold on to it. And maybe I'll come back to it in a couple of weeks, maybe even a month, or maybe longer than that sometimes. So
Jermaine Dupri's talent for getting artists. Okay, let's say it this way. What do you think, as far as a songwriter, what do you think makes a good songwriter? Is it only writing a good song? Or is it doing both? The song, having the song with the artist, or placing the song with the artist?
I think if you're just talking about strictly songwriting, I think it's only about the song, right?
Mm-hmm.
The mechanics of the song, right? The melody. Is it
Right.
does it follow, that song math? Does it follow certain formulas? Is it catchy? Is it like something that you can play once and you're stuck? It's like stuck in your mind. Those are the things that I use to measure a good song. Because there's people that write great songs every day, but they'll never be able to get them, on a Mariah Carey album or a Ariana Grande album or
Mm-hmm.
a Beyonce album. You know what I mean?
But does that count? Does that count if the song is on your computer?
It's like if a tree falls in the forest and nobody hears it, did it fall? I don't know. I don't know. We could you could say either or. You know what I mean? But
Mm.
as far as the people that are known for songwriting, I'm judging them on getting it to an artist, but I'm judging them on how the artist delivers it and interprets it as well. You know what I mean? Because some things are not just the songwriter. It's about "I Will Always Love You" by Dolly Parton. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That was a well written song, but
Yeah.
people didn't really care about it until Whitney did it. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
agree. I agree. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm just scrolling down uh, JD's Wikipedia page.
hmm And I think one thing that's one reason why the credit or the praise has maybe eluded JD is because of that East Coast bias. I think that has a bit to do with it.
Say
Where
say that again.
I think one of the reasons why the credit has like eluded JD is because of East Coast bias, where like if you're not from New York or LA even, I mean the South for a long time kind of got underestimated or was made to feel like the stepchild of the music industry. And now, the South has been running it for the last probably 20 years or so. But in the beginning, it wasn't like that. So I think that has a lot to do with the reason why maybe people don't put him higher, even though he's up there with, the Dr. Dre's and the Puff Daddies
Uh
and
huh.
Pharrell's and all these other guys. You know what I mean? He just
He's definitely talked about that.
yeah, yeah.
About, well, at least someone asked the question, why are you underrated, or something like that.
hmm
And he's mentioned that, for instance, when he got when he broke Crisscross and got that number one hit with Jump,
Yeah.
he was saying on the Breakfast Club that a lot of the people didn't see that as rap, and so they didn't count. It was like, to them it was a gimmick. It was like
It was a
it
joke.
didn't really count.
Yeah.
But he's just consistently putting out hits.
I
So
think
there's
another
something to his process
that
that
works.
makes hits.
Yeah, that works. I think another thing too, though, is he doesn't have a identifiable sound, and that's not a good or a bad thing, right? But
Mm,
when you think about a lot of these other guys, they've got identifiable sounds, right? You know a Neptune's beat when you hear it. You know what I mean with the
right.
the synth chords, and a Timbaland beat when you hear it. With the Arabian flutes and all of this, and you know a Dr. Dre beat when you hear it
Hmm.
with the hard drums. But JD has been able to kind of, maneuver through all types of style. He's done, the West Coast sounding beats with the Brat, the Brat's debut album. It kind of sounds
It,
like Snoop Dogg's album. Snoop Dogg,
yeah, it does. It's kind of interesting, and
yeah,
maybe he did that because of the criticism,
maybe.
or it could have just been because the West Coast don't own funk.
No, nobody
You
owns
know,
anything. Yeah, exactly. We
so
don't.
maybe he just felt maybe that was the vibe he was on.
Yeah, that was the vibe. Yep. But I know that some people have used that as like a critique of him because, all these other guys that have like this, you know, kind of defined sound. But I think the reason why JD's been able to do it so long is because his sound is not identifiable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because if I think if you have a very identifiable sound, it probably does put you in a certain lane.
People get tired of it, when it wears out quick. You remember in the early 2000s where every beat on the radio was a Neptune's beat, and now you might hear them on an album cut here and there, but it's not
I
people
think
people have
that
tired of that
happened.
sound.
I think that also happened with bass music. With bass music, like
Yeah, like the
the
Miami thing.
southern bass,
Yeah,
like 69 Boys. Not saying that 69 Boys are bad. I'm just saying a sound like that. Maybe it was like a trend at the time.
yeah, and whatever's a trend, whenever something becomes a trend, the clock is ticking, right? Because it's only got a certain amount of time until people get over it and people get tired of it. So I think as a producer, if you're trying to mirror people, you want a career like JD's as opposed to the hot new beat maker for like a year or two. You know what I mean? Not saying that the Neptunes or any of those guys are like trendy or whatever, because they're all legends. But I think if you had to pick and choose a career, you would go with the JD approach. You know what I mean? I
19.
I would. I would.
um, I don't know. For me, when I do production, because I would say right now, currently, I probably stay more in the production lane versus the songwriting lane because
Hmm.
the songwriting lane, I can probably get the melody or like the melody of a song, but not necessarily get the lyrics quick.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I can probably do the hook fairly quickly, but as far as the verse lyrics, it's gonna take me some time.
Hmm.
And so, because I feel like I'm better as far as my flow and the turnaround time. If I'm going by turnaround time, I would say I'm staying more in that production lane versus songwriting lane.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then with songwriting, there's a lot of other moving parts. Like you said, if you're not an artist yourself, then you could write the best song with the best melodies, but if you don't find the right vocalist to bring it to life, then it's just sitting on your hard drive or sitting on the computer. So, and I'm sure we've both been there. We're both not singers. You know what I mean? So,
Right. I'm looking at his awards,
hmm,
or at least the Grammy Award nominations,
yeah.
and it's kind of hard to believe out of all the nominations that he's got, he's only won one, and that was with Mariah Carey.
Yeah, he hasn't won a lot of Grammys for some reason, and a lot of times the Grammys are political. You know what I mean? Maybe he's not like shaking the right hands or in front of the right people. Who knows? But he's legendary regardless. With or without the Grammys. So,
Yeah, and he was. I'm trying to see on this. What year did he get inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame?
it was
Okay,
not that long ago.
2018.
Oh, 2018. Okay, so
Yeah,
6 years ago. Okay.
it says in 2018 he was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. This made Dupree the second musician from the hip hop genre to be inducted, with only Jay Z being inducted prior.
Mm. Wait, so Dr. Dre's not even inducted in? That's
It
crazy.
doesn't mention Dr. Dre.
That's crazy.
It says, well, I don't know about. Let's see. I don't know if this is the most current.
This is the
Uh,
Music Hall of Fame or the Rock and Roll one?
the Songwriters Hall of
Oh,
Fame.
songwriters. Oh, okay,
Right.
gotcha.
Okay. It says he won 2 Grammy Awards for his work with Mariah, Mariah Carey's album The Emancipation of Mimi in 2005 and for Usher's Confession in 2004.
Okay, so he's got 2 Grammys. Okay.
But being the best is not about how many Grammys you got. Being that he's seen the amount of success that he has, what does that tell you about what a songwriter should do?
I think one of the clear
Do you
take.
think, before you
Huh?
get started, do you
Mhm.
think a songwriter can just only stay in that lane of songwriting?
Not in today's climate. And people have kind of talked about this. I mean, even outside of developing artists, I think just being competitive as a songwriter today, you need to be able to write, you need to be able to arrange, you need to be able to engineer if needed. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you get kicked out the room real quick.
Yeah.
As only being a songwriter. I think there was a point in time where you could only be a songwriter. If you look at somebody like maybe Diane Warren or
Mm-hmm.
people like that. But the way that things are flowing nowadays, you gotta diversify. And I think following JD's blueprint of finding artists to develop and artists to work with. Maybe you're not handling their business, or maybe you're not managing them, but you're helping them
Right.
learn how to be an artist, or how to even record themselves and things like that. So I think the key is really finding the artist that you can develop and build with.
Yeah, I think so too. Because
Yeah.
he's definitely talked about, Jermaine Dupri has definitely talked about that at length, because he said he's never had that trouble, that issue
And
of placing his songs.
yeah, he's done that better than anybody else. He's developed artists better than Dr. Dre, better than Timbaland, better than Pharrell. All these other guys have tried, and they haven't really been able to do it outside of Eminem. Maybe Dr. Dre had Eminem and 50 Cent to a degree, but developing artists is hard. I
Yeah,
would
it
say
is.
it's even harder than writing a good song. You know what I mean, and producing
Yeah,
a beat.
I, I definitely think so.
Yeah, so the fact that he was able to do that, maybe he picked up some of that from his father. You know what I mean? From his father being a marketing executive, or being an executive at Columbia, because the biggest producers have tried to develop artists, and they failed at it, over and over again. So JD knows something that a lot of us don't know. A lot of them don't know.
Hmm. Um, did you ever watch that TV series Songland? It had Ester Dean on it.
It was on like NBC or something, right?
I'm trying to remember what network it was on.
I think so, and they would have people come in and sing songs and
Songwriters and stuff like that.
right, yeah.
Just watching them at work, I'm like, man, I got, because like I was saying, you can't just stay in that I'm only writing song, meaning you're not touching the production, you're not singing, you're
Right,
not playing an instrument.
right,
All you're doing is melodies and songwriting. I mean lyrics.
yeah.
It's I think it'll be very difficult to do that at a high level, and be at the level of Jermaine Dupri and Ester Dean. And because I was watching Esther Dean work too on Songland, when you know how they show how they're working out and
Hmm.
doing their song, getting
Yeah,
their song developed and finished out.
yeah.
I'm like, man, look at them. They're moving into playing an instrument. Like one of them is on an instrument,
Hmm.
um, or they had someone that they was working with on the instrument. They're in the DAW
Hmm.
producing it out.
moving things around. Yep.
moving things around, stuff like that, and they're doing it quick.
Quick.
When I was talking to you the other week about when I had got with that country art, see,
Yeah.
let's see, I pretty much started really getting into this space in 2014, 2015 is when
Gotcha.
I connected with that country producer.
Yeah.
He was quick, much quicker than me, and I'm like, oh, I can't keep up.
But that's what you that's where the money comes in at. That's what you pay for. That's what you get paid for, right? The
Hmm.
quickness. Because I mean, all a lot of people can write songs and a lot of people can can make beats, but it's about being able to do it quick, being able to do something that is like, I guess, competitive in the market, and being able to do all that in a short amount of time. You know what I mean? I think that's what separates like that high level from, the people that are maybe doing it at home or doing it in their bedroom, or, working to get to that point.
Yeah, and continuing, uh,
Continuing. Yeah.
continuing that, what you're saying, they're working with the artist in the studio live.
Live, right. They're coming up with songs
And
out of thin
from
air
scratch a
from
lot of the
scratch.
times.
Yeah.
They're not the artist, and this was what I was telling another producer one time because it was like, I don't know, maybe it's just like when they get an artist requesting that, I don't know if they're taking on those projects because it could, if you don't normally do that live from scratch, it can take you some time,
Yeah, to
more
work.
time than probably some of these producers want to put into making a beat
Yeah. Yeah.
because I think I'm not saying it's so easy to make a beat, anybody can do it. What I'm saying is, I think it's easier to create a beat if you're creating the beat organically and you don't have anybody requesting
Watching you
certain things of you.
and watching you while you do it.
Right.
Why you're trying to come up with the beat, they're literally to the right of you.
So Esther Dean and the other people on that show, the other judges on that show, were doing this. They weren't doing it live, but they were being recorded
They're being recorded.
with the
Yeah.
cameras. No telling how many people were in the room.
Right.
As they
Watching
were
it. Yeah.
recording this.
Yep. But that's taken them years. Esther Dean, she's been around for what, maybe even 20 years at this point, or close to it. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
that doesn't come overnight. It takes years and years of doing it every night, doing it, being up every night, 5, 6 hours, 5 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. You know what I mean? And what we see is the final product, but we don't see, all of the work that it took to for her to get to that point. You know what I mean?
I'm,
To years, probably. Like,
when we've been in those collab sessions with Michaela Shiloh, it's
yeah,
just kind of amazing because it's
right.
like she'll have a stack of beats, right?
Just run through them,
She'll
run through them,
run through, and
and they're
pretty
all
much
bangers.
have a
Like, all
song
dope. Yeah,
almost
all
finished,
dope.
and then she'll move on to the next one. Totally different vibe.
Yep.
She's doing it again. It's like someone throwing her pitches and she's knocking it out of the park.
Every time. But that comes from doing it for years and years and years. You know what I mean?
And so I don't think enough of us. I don't think a lot of us get that type of practice. I think most
Wow.
of the time we're at home writing and doing the song when it's
Bit
convenient
by
to
bit.
us.
Yeah. Yep.
When we are sitting down with nobody around doing it,
Mm-hmm.
so we don't get that practice. And I don't know. I think it can, just like when I was working with the guy in Nashville.
Yeah.
It made me kind of uncomfortable because I wasn't keeping up, and I was thinking about, wonder what he's thinking about me not being
He was
able to
he was
contribute as much as he's contributing to this song.
he was glad that he was getting paid.
I'm sure of that now. That's a given.
I don't think he was thinking about you, worried about you one way or another. He was like, I'm getting paid to do this, so I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? But that's where the service comes in at, man.
But I learned from that. I learned to like have my stuff have as much of a song
Done.
that I could when
Yeah.
I when I met him the next time because I knew how he wrote.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of it is trial and error too. You know what I mean? Seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. You know what I mean? Depending on who you're in the room with. What works with Mariah may not work with Monica.
Oh
So
yeah, definitely. I'm pretty sure every artist, most of those artists he worked with, have a certain approach, like you're saying, of
yeah,
how their creative process.
yep,
For me, I think it's kind of harder for someone. I think well, in certain situations, it seems like when there's too many voices in the room or voices going on, like too
yeah,
much input
yeah.
on something, I get distracted by that.
Yeah, I don't I'm not really a fan of that either because you get too many people, too many different directives, and then you spend too much time well, I like this or I don't like that or they like this, and I think it's better to cook up as intimately as you can, maybe, one, two, three, four people maybe at the most, but sometimes you might be in a room where there's 8 people, 10 people, and they're all making loops, and it becomes a lot, like you said. So
Hmm. Who do you think? What's another songwriter that you would put up as far as who is your favorite songwriter?
favorite songwriter.
It could be a producer, songwriter, or artist, songwriter.
Yeah, it really varies, man, depending on what type of lane or what type of mood I'm in. On the pop side, I would have to go with Max Martin, Dr. Luke. Those guys are like assassins, man. Like they really know how to make those like pop hits.
Is that those Swiss guys?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know Max Martin is Swiss. Dr. Luke,
Hmm.
I'm not sure if he's Swiss. Dr. Luke, he grew up in New York, New York City. But
The
yeah, Max.
thing about the creatives coming from the European countries,
Yeah,
they seem to have a lot more music taught in
musicality, right?
the early grades,
Yeah.
and it seems to be a little bit more of a I guess national pastime to sing songs and to perform and
Mhm.
all that because they seem to be pretty developed in my opinion
They are, and
at an early age.
at an early age, and at one point they were doing a lot of those like writing camps and production camps, and
Hmm.
I don't know if they're still doing them nowadays, but in the '90s, Sweden was like a factory for like pop hits. You know what I mean? So any big records, a lot of them came out of Sweden. Um, and yeah, so those are on the pop side. Those are like my favorite songwriter producers. On the R&B end, I don't know. On the R&B end, I like. I think the Dream is good. Um,
Hmm.
I think the Dream is really good. I think Tricky Stewart is really good. Mm, yeah, there's so many on the R&B side. I really can't name like a favorite.
Too good to just pick one, eh?
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think of some female songwriters on the R&B, and Ester Dean, like you said, she's really really good. She does a lot of pop as well.
Hmm.
Think Stara is really good. Stara, she's really good. She's done a lot of records. But yeah, so many, man. It's hard to kind of narrow it down,
JD mentioned that he's rebooting So Def Records.
Okay,
Yep. And I
that's
think he's even gonna put up that So Def billboard sign.
he's gonna put it
You know
up
the
back
Afro,
in Atlanta,
what's the
right?
mascot? Afro Man, the
Yeah, yeah,
mascot.
yep.
I think
He,
he's gonna put that sign back up.
that'd be cool because that logo was legendary, man. I think at one
Yeah,
point,
I enjoy going to Atlanta and seeing that.
yeah, at one point they had a billboard up in Atlanta, right,
Yeah,
of the logo. Yep. Yeah, so I think that'll be big, man.
but Jermaine is definitely on the legendary status,
Oh yeah,
in my
by
opinion.
far, yeah. He's up there, man. He's goated for sure.
Um, does he have writing camps? Do you know?
I think he does.
I don't think I've heard of a Jermaine Dupri writing camp.
I think they're a lot more intimate than and they're definitely not like open to like the general public.
Right.
I think I don't think he does it in a way that a lot of people do it, where they send out invites to maybe like 20 or 30 writers. I don't think it's big like that. I think it's a lot more intimate, and I think it's usually with people that he's already worked with in some degree.
Hmm.
Whether it's like Brian Michael Cox or The Dream or, Tricky Stewart. He seems to really keep things like
He
in
has his
yeah. He has
he
like
has his go to people, and he pretty much sticks with that.
yeah. So I think a Jermaine Dupri writing camp might be maybe 4 or 5 people, which is not really a camp, but just
Hmm.
friends getting together and kind of making music.
Yeah. Mm.
Whereas like a Rihanna camp will be like 100 writers or so. You know what I mean? So
Hmm. Do you know anybody that went there to Rihanna writing camp?
no, I wish, man. I wish. I don't even know if she's still doing them, but those for a while those camps were real legendary. The Chris Brown writing camps, the Rihanna writing camps. Um, you know, it's a lot of
Babyface had some of them. I don't know if he's still doing them, but he
He
was
did
doing.
one. He did one not that long ago where it was like invite only, but it was a lot of like industry people. But he did do one not that long ago, maybe about a year ago, or maybe
Yeah.
6 months ago. But,
Oh, you know what? This other guy. What's this songwriter producer that pretty much worked with Trey Songz?
oh,
What is his
Troy
name?
Taylor, right? He's been doing them. I think Troy
Yeah,
Taylor,
Troy
right?
Taylor.
Yeah, he's been doing them in Atlanta for a while now. But even those are very like kind of selective. You know what I mean? Like you gotta know people that know people that know people. There's
Hmm.
layers to it. But
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I for the longest time I've had Jermaine Dupri up there as my top go to
yeah,
guy as far as favorite producer,
yeah,
favorite songwriter. And so when I saw the interview on the Breakfast Club, I was like, you know what, that'd be a good topic
good
for
topic.
this
Yeah,
week because I don't think JD get his flowers enough.
he doesn't, man. He doesn't, and he probably could stand to be a little more like I guess cocky. Like he doesn't. He's not as cocky as like like a Diddy or Timberland or people like
But
that. So
he'll be making posts about certain things, and
uh,
he's probably not even he's probably not even thinking he's going to get any pushback. You know, he'll say something about something he's accomplished,
yeah,
not to necessarily brag about anything, but he's something made him post it, and he'll get a lot of pushback as if he didn't accomplish that. And so I'm repeatedly seeing him, periodically seeing him coming back and responding to those people. Just like when the kids got his song, that Ghost Town DJ song,
oh my boo, right?
Mabu,
Yeah.
and they made a dance out of it and it went viral again. And he was like, "Yeah, I wrote that," and they did they did for
And
some
believe
reason they don't believe Jermaine Dupri.
because I don't know. He's just I think a lot of it is just East Coast West Coast bias, to be honest.
Hmm.
when Diddy says that he did something, people believe it, and he may not have even made the beat or hit any buttons on the record. You know what I'm saying? But people, when Dr. Dre says that he did something, people believe it, and Dr. Dre may not have, made the melody, or he may not have done certain things. Scott
Hmm.
Storch may have done it, or somebody else. So I think a lot of
Maybe
it is
he gave maybe
bias.
he gave the concept, or maybe he. I think one time with Scott Storch was playing something, and he walked in the room or walked by
Hmm.
and stopped in his tracks.
You talking about
I
still Dre?
can't remember what song it was though.
It was still Dre though. Dun 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 dun
Oh
dun.
yeah, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So nobody gives Dre flack when he talks about what he's done. I think for JD, a lot of it is just people hate on the South even to this day. Like the South is running the urban music industry at least, and people still hate on it. So I think a
It's
lot of
Atlanta has pretty much has become
the
the
hub
capital of the music in
music
almost.
industry.
Would you say it's the capital of the music and the movie industry?
I think it's gonna be the capital of the movie industry. Um,
Hmm.
I think it is the capital of the music industry right now.
Yeah,
But yeah, I see it becoming the capital of the movie industry. Definitely the black movie industry.
a lot of the production companies like to move to Georgia because we don't have the unions like in California,
And you
which
can
is
make a lot
interesting
more
because
there.
I thought, um, if someone is a Screen Actors Guild member, I thought they had to go by union rates,
I don't
but
know.
maybe it's different in Georgia. I don't know.
It gets tricky, but I know that they can get a lot more land out in Georgia than out in LA or something. And
And
so
they'll probably get like tax breaks and all that stuff for
right,
bringing
exactly, for bringing those jobs
jobs
to the
and
city. Yeah.
opportunities here.
Yep.
At the conference I'm at today, they were talking about just like Georgia kind of catered and made and provided incentives to the movie industry. Not necessarily incentives, but
Like tax breaks and kind of
they're trying to help the creatives, right?
yeah. Yep.
So they created I think the Georgia Film Academy or something. They
Right.
kind of provide like grants and support for creatives. They were
Mhm.
talking about doing the same thing for on the music side.
That I think that would be great for Atlanta because if you don't pour into the arts, then we're not gonna have no art soon. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Especially with AI. So
let me pull up her name. Let me see. What is Tammy Hurt?
Tammy Hurt. That name sounds familiar.
Let me see.
Hurt.
She's done a lot of placement. She has a company called what is her company called? Is it called the Placement Portal or it's something? Oh, she has a firm called Placement Music, and she's been commissioned for projects on Fox Sports, Paramount Pictures,
She
CBS,
does a
MTV,
lot of TV,
HBO,
right?
BT, Sony, the NFL, NASCAR.
Yeah.
She's in there. And
Okay.
so she was the one that was talking about this, about look at Georgia's place in the music industry, like the capital of the music industry.
Yep.
And the music that's created out of Georgia is exported all over the world.
Yeah.
And so she was talking to the elected officials and telling them, you need to capitalize on this and promote it more and get
Hmm.
behind it with some state resources.
Bring more
Help the
people.
creatives.
Yeah.
Help it just like you've helped the film industry.
Exactly.
And Jermaine Dupri has been a major part of that, making it the capital. I would say it's probably started with Babyface and L.A. Reid.
Yeah, back in the 90s or 80, maybe
Uh,
late 80s, early 90s. Yep.
organized. Is it organized noise?
Organized noise, yeah.
Organized
Organized
noise.
mob, yep.
Outcast, Big
Hmm.
Boy. It's they helped they helped fund that, and then I guess you could say we got immigrants from other states. I'm not talking about illegal immigrants. I'm talking about
Oh yeah,
northern
yeah.
immigrants, northern
They
people
cut
moving
down.
to Georgia and stuff, and getting into the music scene. Because what's her name did that?
Nicki Minaj.
Janelle Monae.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I think she came down here and she was with one of those camps. Maybe it was was it? I think it might have been with organized noise. I can't remember.
I can see that, yeah, because she makes a certain type of music. I can see her being down with organized noise. But yeah, Atlanta has like a lot of funnels to to the industry and to music and to the arts. And I don't see that really changing ever. I mean, as long as there's a music industry, I think Atlanta's gonna be a hub, at least for the urban music industry anyway. And LA is kind of like the hub for the pop music industry, but as far as like urban music goes, I think Atlanta is the spot.
I told you before we hit the record before I hit the record button that I'm at the MIA conference, and that's a conference for music business educators.
Hmm.
And AI was all over this. AI has been all over this conference.
I'm sure.
And one of the conversations made me think of, and I can't remember if you and I have talked about this. It made me think of this social media. I call it a debate. I guess it was somewhat of a debate. Bruno Mars's song "When I Was Your Man." The songwriters, I don't know, I can't remember their names right now.
Hmm.
But Miley Cyrus's song "Flowers."
Hmm.
They basically used the themes in "When I Was Your Man." It's almost like someone told a Chat GTP, look at all the lyrics of "When I Was Your Man" and create a response song based off those lyrics.
Based off of that, yeah.
So whatever the lyrics were saying, it kind of repeated back some of the phrases,
Uh huh.
but it said it in a way so that it was not, I guess, a direct violation of copyright. But it caused such a debate online. A lot of people were saying that Miley Cyrus should have given Bruno Mars his credit for that song.
That's always a slippery slope whenever you're interpolating something, whether
Hmm.
directly or indirectly. I mean, there's only seven keys, right, in music, right? So it's like, at what point does it become what point does it go from being inspired to actually like theft, or to stealing or to taking something? I don't know. I think Bruno Mars is so far up that he's not worried about it either way. He might hear it and be like, yeah, they definitely bit that from me, but I don't think he's worried about it one way or another. You know.
Okay, listen to the chorus from Bruno Mars's "When I Was Your Man." I should have bought you flowers and held your hand. Should
Hmm.
have gave you all my hours when I had the chance. Take you to every party 'cause all you wanted to do was dance. Now my baby's dancing, but she's dancing with another man. So that's Bruno Mars' song. Now here is
Miley Cyrus.
Miley, Miley Cyrus. I can buy you flowers. Write my name. Oh, my bad, I messed up. I can buy myself flowers. Write my name in the sand. Talk to myself for hours. Say things you don't understand. I can take myself dancing. I can hold my own hand. I can love me better than you can.
And that may just be, maybe they designed it to be an answer to that. I don't know if you
A
remember when
response song.
yeah, response. Like when No Scrubs came out, there was a song that came out called No Pigeons, where these
Oh
rappers,
Lord.
the Sporty D's. I don't know. Do you remember that
I
song?
remember it.
Yeah, it was literally a response to that record. You know what I mean? So maybe
But
that was
AI is going to do a lot of that.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
AI is going to be all over these like
The song,
response song or make me a song in the lane of this song. Make me a song using the same top phrases in another song, and it's going to be something.
well, then that's where you get back to the economy of the music industry, and it's like, well, if I can get a computer to spit out, a song, why do I need to pay a songwriter? Why do I need to pay a producer if I can get AI to spit out, a beat? So
Mhm.
these are interesting times that we're in, um, and I hope that as an industry, maybe even as a society, like we get in front of it instead of being like reactive to it. You know what I mean? Because whenever we're reactive to things,
Yeah,
we never quite catch up. You know what I mean? Like the music industry was reactive to like LimeWire and Napster, and
they
now,
tried. They tried to crush it. They tried to stop it
yeah,
instead of seeing how they could
get in
use it
front
for
of
their
it.
benefit.
Yeah, exactly. And so now we're at a point where streaming pays literally nothing. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because the music industry was reactive to things.
Do you think the advent of AI technology is gonna? You remember one time when the other week when we were talking about superstars,
Hmm.
and you were saying that you don't think it's gonna be hard for someone to be a superstar. Do you think the same thing about someone being like a super producer or super
Yeah,
Jermaine Dupri level songwriter producer?
yeah. It's So I've thought about this for a while. Today I read something where somebody who's in the industry, somebody that I've been reading about AI for a while, and I was like,
Uh
well,
huh.
the people in the industry don't seem to be really freaking out about it. But today
Right.
I read something where somebody in the industry was kind of like, yeah, eventually this is gonna take over this. This is gonna replace this. This is gonna move this out of the way. How can we make sure that we're in front of it? You know what I mean? And so when I saw that today, I was like, okay, so it's getting realer and realer. You know what I mean? Because initially everybody was like, oh no, AI could never do what we do. But there's a new app out now called I think it's Suno, and Rolling Stones did an article. Rolling Stone magazine did an article on it. Was it Rolling Stone or Billboard? They did one of them did an article that came out like the other day, and people from the industry are in there and they're talking about particularly on the sync side of things, on the sync, and that a lot of um a lot of stuff may not be licensed in the future, like in the next couple of years, because you can just if you're a production manager, you can just feed a prompt into the Suno, and it'll spit back out some ambiance or some background music that you need. You know.
That made me think about something that I saw. I think it was a video clip, and it was had something to do with a video game creation. The video game developers, and they said they had the engine, the application that helps create the environment. Create that video game world.
Yeah.
Also creates the music.
Mm.
And I was
So
like,
yeah,
wow, I didn't know that. But even though it does that, I guess people, at the level that it's doing it, they're still sinking a lot of real music into video games.
for now.
Hmm.
I think the big songs will always rise to the top regardless, right? But I think for a lot of producers, movie producers, film, video game that are on maybe a shoestring budget or that just want to save some money. I think if they can eliminate having to license music from creatives, then they will. You know what I mean? If it impacts their bottom line. Um, So but who knows? I don't know. Nobody really knows what it's going to be like, but people are making predictions.
Um, there's been,
So
um, the guys that I don't want to just blame Spotify. I don't want to just blame them.
yeah.
Um, but a lot of startups hype their stuff up and say, "Oh, it's gonna be able to do this." Just wait until more people get into
Mm,
streaming and using streaming and get the streaming account services and stuff like that.
yeah,
It's gonna pay out big.
it
Nope.
never does. So there was
They
some.
don't know. They didn't know that. They
No,
didn't know that for sure. They were guessing.
it's like with the Ubers and the Netflixes. Their business models are built on kind of losing a lot of money in the beginning and spending a lot of money, and subsidizing things. But I think long term, Netflix realized that streaming is not it's not profitable. You know what I mean?
And it's gutting the pay of all the
Everybody,
writers,
exactly.
the actors.
Yep. And so AI is like another blow to all of that. You know what I mean? Because as thinking from an economical standpoint, why would I want to deal with a writer who's gonna complain about what I'm giving them when I can just type a prompt into to a computer and it doesn't talk back to me. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
there's a these are interesting times, man. These are interesting times. What a time to be alive right now, man.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know where everything will end up and where things will go, but these are interesting times, man.
Yeah. Uh, and it's at a place where the music industry is just can it
They're
survive another
panicking, man.
can it survive another blow like this?
Yeah, they're panicking, man. Like there's so many layoffs happening at these labels, and people in the industry are saying we're in trouble. These are not outsiders that are saying. There's people with jobs in the music industry. They feed their families with the music industry, and they're like,
Because it could take, suing somebody, like for instance, the guy that got Drake's voice.
the
Well,
ghostwriter guy. Yeah,
he was using the AI technology where he recorded the song, and
and
then
then
the technology puts Drake's
voice on it.
AI generated voice on
Yeah,
the song and made a good song out
yeah,
of it. Well,
it was a good song.
nice, catchy song that a lot of people liked.
Yeah,
Um, if you get a whole lot of people doing that, not necessarily putting it out on Spotify because Spotify might block it, but
yeah,
on places like YouTube where it's different enough where the YouTube checking system doesn't catch
just
it,
flag it. Yeah,
they can sue these people, but how long does it take to go to court and get the
it's
stuff
not going to
paid?
be worth it. Yeah, it's not going to be worth it. Where
And
like
so if
uh,
all that capture, like if people start making better songs or more popular songs than the actual artist,
yeah.
That's the issue that I see.
No, yeah, absolutely. And anytime that everybody can do something, it's no longer special, right?
Yeah.
The
So
music
Jermaine
industry,
Dupri will be
yeah,
working in this type of environment.
there may not be another Jermaine Dupri. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mm.
now everybody can do it, right? Anytime, like you used to man, you spend years practicing on music, getting better at music, learning how to write, learning how to produce, learning how to engineer, learning how to stack vocals, learning Pro Tools, learning FL Studio, whatever,
Yeah.
learning chords and all these great things. And now you don't need you don't need any of that, man. You know what I mean? So it's like I think what's gonna happen is people are gonna start making their own music, like just music that they want to hear. They're gonna
Like
go
Songfinch.
right,
You, Song
exactly.
for you guys that don't know, Songfinch is a service where just a regular person can go on there if they want a birthday song for their husband or wife or some
Mhm.
type of anniversary song. They can go on this platform, basically order the song. The song is not like a commercial release, but they can use it for their personal use with their whoever they're making the song for.
Yeah.
And AI
This
doing that,
Yeah, right. Because now you don't got to go on Songfinch and pay somebody $200 to do it. Now, shit, you can pull up Chat GPT and say, "Write me a song," and then you can pull up Sono and say, "Make me a beat to go with these lyrics." You know what I mean? So it's
I saw this post about AI on I think it was Instagram, one of the social platforms. And the guy, this was more on the tech side of things, on the programming side. He was talking about how for probably like the last 2 decades, at least I know the last 10 years, they've been telling kids, teach your kids to learn how to program because it's
right.
going to be a tool that they're going to need. Everyone needs to know how to program. And
Yeah.
he says
Now with
the
AI,
new program. He says with AI, the new programming language is human.
yeah,
You
that's
just know
it.
how to. All you have to do is be able to talk and ask it.
Type of prompt into AI. Yeah. It was like all these things that people would spend years learning how to do. Like the people that are like the top coders now for like Google and all these people, they've been coding since they were like 12 and 13. They've been coding for 10, 20 years.
Yeah,
And
and
now
it's gonna. Everybody is not gonna lose their. You still have to be a subject matter expert. You still have to know
no things, yeah.
the fundamentals of to be able to get out of the. Certain prompts will get you certain outputs, right?
Hmm.
If you don't know how to tell it what to do,
Then you're not gonna get nowhere,
you're
yeah.
not going to get the results that you expect.
Yeah.
You're still going to need an expert, but you won't need all these programmers
Right,
to do
exactly.
that.
Yep.
So you'll be able to shrink a company that might have had 20 programmers, like a big company that might have had 20 or 30 programmers, probably can do it with what,
One
three,
now, maybe.
1 to 3.
Yeah, exactly. So
But
it's just I don't I don't know what the future holds, man. It'll be interesting to see.
it's tricky.
It is, man. It is tricky, and legislators don't seem to really be trying to get in front of it and really understand it. They seem to be
I
kind of
think they're concerned, but I think because governance is so slow,
it is, yeah, it is.
it's
It's a
just
lot of red tape.
by the time the catastrophe hit, whatever
It's too late.
major thing hit us, by the time they get around to sending people to help, it done already affected us so much that it made the impact already.
Yeah,
It's hard for them. Like I think you mentioned a little bit earlier in the conversation, to be proactive. We need to get proactive with this stuff and not
not reactive.
reactive
Yeah,
with it.
yeah, absolutely.
And how to get elected officials, and not just elected officials, the industries,
Mm-hmm.
because they sit on stuff too. They don't want to accept certain things too,
No, they fight it.
like what you were mentioning about Napster. They didn't, instead of just accepting the reality that you can easily rip music. Now now it's not like ripping music. It's more like stripping, getting all the stems, and making your own songs with the elements.
Seconds. In 2 seconds, you can strip a whole song and get all the stems. That's got
All the separate instrumentals,
yeah,
the vocals.
that's got to be unethical. Like that's got to be like I'm not acting like I'm some morality expert or whatever, but like I sat in the studio for 9 months and created an album, and you can take my whole album and extract stems from it in 2 seconds. Like come
And
on.
they could probably do it in a way. They can do this in a way that you won't even know they've done it,
Right, exactly, because then they can
because
it into something
they
new.
could put another voice on it. They can tell it to change the melody.
Yeah.
They can make so many adjustments. You won't even know that they took your work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, for the ones that are lazy about it, yeah, you'll figure it out. But
I
the
mean,
ones that are trying to be clever about it, you probably won't know.
they've been doing that now with loop makers, where loop makers will send in a loop, and what they'll do is they'll take your MIDI, and then they'll swap it out.
You'll take your what?
They'll take like the MIDI of your loop,
Hmm.
like they can separate, like they can pinpoint the MIDI notes of your loop, and they'll take the MIDI notes, and then they'll just put another instrument on it. You know what I mean? So that you can't even identify the melody, or you'll have a hard time,
I've
playing.
never been into sending loops,
Yeah.
sending beats and tracks, unless I know the person,
No,
and it's
yeah,
not in the sense where I'm sending them a stack of beats or tracks or anything like that. I've never been that guy.
yeah, yeah. All
But
right, man.
this
I
is
gotta get ready to head out though.
this has
This,
been a great conversation, man.
yeah, man, for sure.
JD is the man. JD is the legend. What are your thoughts on Jermaine Dupri?
The goat.
And follow us, like and subscribe to this channel. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. AJ Pendit and Talent Bender. All right, thanks, folks. Have a good one.